Hey,
Hey.
welcome to week 3 of the podcast. We did week 2 of the podcast, and I ended up having a busy week and couldn't edit it. And so I'm going to include some of the clips here because the ones that are important, like the lock bets of the week, are important. Very important. Very important. Very, very important. My friend, Mr. Peter Kolb, is my friend, and I'm his friend, and my name is Brenan Corcoran, and we're gonna be breaking down some stuff that's happened in fantasy so far this year.
Let's get
and
into it.
We're gonna preview week 4 of the NFL season. Let's get right to it.
Let's go. Let's check on the standings. 3 weeks in.
At the tippy top, leading everyone with a 2-1 record. Mr. Bill Ponderosa. He's scored 454 points so far this season. Everybody watch out. He is the real deal. Again.
It's four 2-1s, 4 1-2s.
Yeah, we got a pretty even right here.
Even as can be through 3 weeks.
If we look at the playoff percentages after 3 weeks, everyone's still got a pretty good chance of making the playoffs. So hopefully no one's given up on us so far. With that, jump right into the biggest winner. Pete, do you want to go first with your biggest winner?
Sure. I actually, interesting enough, have 2 biggest winners.
Whoa.
No biggest loser this week.
Wow.
If I did, it probably would have been me, because one of my big winners is Mr. Ken Dowling. Unfortunately, we didn't get the episode out last week, so you guys, well, maybe Brennan will edit in, but I gave Ken the biggest loser. I sort of said that his team was looking a little rough. Apart from Justin Jefferson, this team is looking real shaky right now. Obviously, I'm sure he's going to bounce back in some ways, but it's just looking dark. But Ken, I would say, coming up, Ken also gets the loser of the week for still having Kadarius Toney on his roster, by the way. So that in there. But coming up on week 3, sort of get the sense that this is a big one for Mr. Dowling. If so, Ken, loser of this week, hopefully, well, actually not hopefully, winner of the next week. And I sort of also insinuated that he's got a very hard matchup in myself coming up, and it would be a big week for him and a big loss if so. And instead, not only did I just didn't show up to play this week. You guys know how it goes sometimes. Ken got his team right, even with a 4-point game from Justin Jefferson. Had a very good week. So big winner to Ken. And then the other for getting his first win as well will be Mr. Converse. We had 2 first winners of the week. Colin's team has been looking very good all season. He just needed a little tiny incy bit of help from Derrick Henry, and he finally got it this week. Derrick Henry's first good week of the season, and unsurprisingly, Colin takes home his first win with that. So congrats to the 2 loser boys, no longer losers. Good to see that everybody's got a win now.
For sure. Everything's really evening out. I think all players have had, their rough matchups. And so after 3 weeks, everything's still on the table. Congratulations to Colin and Kennedy, although you guys are sitting at the bottom of the standings right now.
Yeah, just
you guys are Peter's winners. That's cute. That's cute. I also had Colin as one of my losers last week because of Derrick Henry. So that was, definitely cool to see Derrick Henry show up this week with 25 points. It's what you expect after you draft Derrick Henry. I'm sure that's what Colin expects. My biggest winner is Mr. Seamus Bill Ponderosa Munt. His team looks great. If you look at how he played against me last week, he was the highest scoring team last week. Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews stack is unreal. That's where I think my biggest winners go with when it comes to Seamus. They scored a combined 68.3 points last week, which was only 20 points shy of Peter's entire team. Which brings me to my biggest loser, which is Peter. Like that transition. Peter was my biggest loser. He had the lowest points scored out of any team out of any week so far this year, and it wasn't even really close. I think everyone scored over 100 each week, and you only scored 88.58 points. And it just happens. It's all right. It's cool. It's just the way that everything goes. We were pretty cocky on the podcast last week, being the only 2-0 teams. I would put on this helmet, but my head's too big at 2-0. My head's a bit big. It's not a small helmet. It's a big head. No, it is certainly evened out. Not too worried about Peter being the biggest loser multiple times this year. He's got a good squad that just didn't show up this week. Happens.
Yeah. You know what? I'll amend it. You get my biggest loser, asshole. You guys too. All right, you're in the boat. Let's move on to matchups. You son of a bitch.
That's fair. Going straight to the Frankie Funky Bunch against Just State University.
Yeah, both 2-1. This one I think is going to be a really close toss-up. Both you guys have some all-stars that are, playing all right this season, but it really does seem like all-stars could come and go so far in these first few weeks, and so it will be. Does Tyreek Hill go off for 40 points for you, or does he get 4 points? Same thing with Stephon Diggs and Najee and some of those guys. Kyle Pitts finally getting some good action for Frankie. So yeah, pretty even matchup, I think. And yeah, I don't know. I would say overall a toss up, but I would give the edge to Brenan here.
All right, sweet. So does ESPN. 52% chance to win right now. Next, we're going to cover the Peter football team versus Mr. Ozzy, Jeff's dad's team. Peter's coming off a loss to Ken. I think a big player that needs to produce is Justin Herbert. He's the top scoring player for Pete right now. And then next would be Davante Adams, who is Peter's next top scorer. I think he's really itching to be able to push Chris Godwin back in the lineup, maybe Amari Cooper, someone that he's looking to still put in the lineup this week. It looks like he's going with Brandon Cooks and Antonio Gibson at the flex positions, but you never know. Amari Cooper has 2 straight weeks with 20 plus points, which is pretty cool. He's definitely clicking with that offense there in Cleveland. But I think for sure Davante Adams is pissed off starting 0-3. So we'll see some big production out of him and Jamar Chase, who got locked down by Sauce Gardner and the Jets last week. It was pretty cool. His lowest career yards. So as a Jets fan, that was pretty sick. Nice. But on Ozzy's side, he has 3 players actually in the top in all Brenan team. Amon St. Brown, one of my favorite players this year. I will always be rooting for him. Nick Chubb has been awesome in the Cleveland offensive line. It's just been great. We'll see if people like Austin Eckler and Russ Wilson, who have had disappointing seasons so far, can find something week 4 like a couple of players did week 3. But I'm gonna give Peter this one. I think his team's gonna show up again after having a meek week. Next matchup, Pete, you want to go over this one?
Yep. Contrary to the first one, I think this one does have a favorite. Jameis, I think, looking at it right now at this point in the season, is the favorite. His team looks so beefed up. Christian McCaffrey still on 2 legs. AJ Brown, what a pick. Drake London is like a wide receiver 1. Mark Andrews is probably the highest scoring tight end now. I may be mistaken. Obviously, Lamar is the leading MVP. Even Christian Kirk is working out well for Jameis. His team looks absolutely incredible. Meanwhile, Kyler looking shaky, Kamara looking shaky, Jerry Jeudy very bad. Those 2 guys, Jeudy and Lockett, sort of trapped in shit offenses right now. Pittman will be coming back. He's balled out both weeks he's played so far this year. Cup is still solid, but man, I think anyone that plays Jameis right now is the underdog. His team is just looking very, very strong. He's got fucking James Robinson on the bench.
Yep, that's what I scrolled down to actually point out. I'm glad that you saw that too. Yeah. One of the top 5 running backs this year so far, and he's sitting on his bench because it's kind of like
and I don't even disagree with him that much. Like Drake London is a very solid flex play. I maybe will put him above Christian Kirk, but still, the fact that he's got so many incredible options. Yeah, Jameis, absolute dog right now.
Yeah, woof
I got
woof.
him in this. I got him in this matchup.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I mean, who sits Caffrey or Joe Mixon for James Robinson either? It's just.
Yep.
But anyways, next matchup we're looking at the two bottom teams, as I pointed out in the standings earlier. And honestly, I always just love when the two team names are like at each other and they're versing each other. So I think you guys should come up with something where, you know, the other person who beats the other person has to change their team name to something positive. But two great questions. How high is Connor? And Ken has a noodle arm, which, you know, really the question
We'll
mark
find
on
out.
that
We'll
is the only
find
part.
out the answer after they show down.
Joey B, I think's been struggling. He's, you know, made some contacts here and there, but they're 1-2 in Cincinnati, and I think we're still looking to see a lot from him. As well as Justin Jefferson, got the talent, hasn't been getting the production so far. You know, he doesn't have the strongest running backs, Mr. Kennedy, but he's wide receiver heavy for sure. On Colin's side, you know, I would say again, watch out. He started off 0-2 last year and then won the championship. He now had a very productive week beating Ozzy, pretty good. Jalen Hurts had a great start to the season so far. The Eagles are one of the only 3-0 teams left. Again, Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook showed up last week. Derrick scored 25 points. Dalvin Cook scored his 13. That's been pretty average for him 3 weeks in a row. T. Higgins and Waddle are two, you know, wide receiver twos on their offense that have been basically outscoring the wide receiver ones on both of those offenses. Love to see Jalen Waddle get some respect back in Colin's lineup after not being there for the first 2 weeks. And then, you know, the flex positions too. I think Colin's got the upper hand here all across the board. But we'll see. You never know who's going to show up, as we found out last week. Take a look at the all Brenan team starting to really pan out, you know, as not some front runners, you know, entirely. I think, you know, this is parts of the season where we see the all Brenan team have some interesting, you know, members as a part of it, and we see who's really pulling away from the pack here. Speaking of pulling away from the pack, as Peter mentioned before, the MVP favorite right now, Lamar Jackson. He's leading the entire fantasy season with 102 points. He's officially over 100 points after scoring a lot last week, as I mentioned before. I believe, let's see, 39 points last week. Just an average week for Lamar Jackson, apparently. Josh Allen's the next highest scoring player, and he has 87. So you're looking at a 20-point difference already coming into week 4. The running backs, we have Saquon Barkley at the top with 67 points, part of Brennan's team. Then Nick Chubb, as I mentioned before, being very productive, 64.9 points for Mr. Ozzy. Your wide receivers, we have Stephon Diggs leading the pack with 85.4 points, again, on Seamus's team. The next best wide receivers on Jeff's team, Cooper Kupp, 80 points. Then you're looking down at the flex positions for the all Brenan team. Amon-Ra St. Brown with 73 points for Ozzy's team. And Jalen Waddle, 72.9 points for Colin's team. So they are definitely getting the most out of those flex positions. The best tight end after this week changed from Travis Kelce to Mark Andrews. Thank you to Lamar Jackson. Again, on Seamus's team. That stack is very dangerous. He scored 64.8 points, which is, you know, pretty significant for a tight end at this point in the season, I think. Best kicker is on Ozzy's team as well. Ozzy's got 3 different players on the all Brenan team this week. 34 points for Young Hoku. That's pretty productive for a kicker.
Is young? Can I just say it's Young Wei? Let's give the guy some.
Is it Young Wei?
Uh-huh.
Oh my, I had no idea. I apologize to the fans. Please don't cancel me. I'd never heard it before.
Apologize to the Koo family.
I'm sorry to the Coop family, and I'm sorry to everyone who's friends with the Koo family. I didn't know. I'm just gonna stick to calling him Mr. Koo from now on because Young Hui is now I feel really bad. No. I'm honestly shocked. I had no idea that was how you pronounce the name. Never really heard it you pronounce that way, but it makes sense. Young Hui Koo, 34 points for Mr. Ozzy. That's 3 players on the All Brennan team this week. And then finally your defense and special teams, still the Bills. 46 points on Brennan's team. So really coming into the All Brennan team after 4 weeks, that's what it looks like. Will it change week 5? We will see. We'll see. Now's the end of the podcast. We always give a lock of the week. Peter and I have looked over the weekly bets on DraftKings, and we picked out 2 of our favorites. It's been 2 weeks now of the podcast, and although I didn't post it on time, I will show mine and Peter's picks.
Instead, I'm going to go Ravens -3 against the New England Patriots. I think.
So Pete went with the Ravens -3 over the Pats, which locked. Another successful lock bet by Pete. His standings has now come to 2-0 in the lock bets. So either fade him soon or keep rolling with him. And then Brennan's pick was, I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions +6. And we're looking at Detroit after playing the Vikings +6 has also locked. Successful. They did lose 28-4. Is a very close game. But that is a lock +6. They got +4 on that. So the +6 definitely locks. We are combined 4-0. So either fade us soon or keep rolling with us. Someone's got to bet on these because it's officially getting interested. We have a winning streak going on. Pete, you wanna announce your lock of the week? Lock of the week for week 4 in the NFL?
Sure do. There are a few that are tempting me. This Thursday night football game, Dolphins only given 4 points against the Bengals, but 2 of them might not be fully healthy, so I'm staying away and instead taking the Chargers over Texans, who are only -5. Herbert will be playing, Keenan Allen probably returning, and Texans are bad. So another one of those just caught my eye. Not sure why it's not more than a touchdown. Yeah, I think Chargers will have a get right week. I'm taking them.
You know, I was thinking about doing that matchup as well, and I looked up what they played last year, and the Texans blew them out last year.
Really?
So interested in seeing that. I was also something I was like, what's up with that? Maybe it's their kryptonite. But yeah, I think the Chargers offense got to get going soon. My lock of the week was actually the Arizona Cardinals +2 over the Carolina Panthers.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but that was one that stuck out to me. I think the Cardinals got a better team than the Panthers. I know the Panthers will be playing at home, but I think Rondale Moore is supposed to be coming back for the offense for the Cardinals. I think Kyler's been great, and I don't think Baker's been very good for Carolina. So we'll see. I think that one's my lock of the week. +2 Arizona Cardinals.
Well, there we go. We'll see how they end. But that should conclude week 3 of the podcast, going into week 4 of the fantasy football season. Hope everyone is enjoying their season. Leave us a voicemail. Let us know your gripes, your complaints, your opinions. Let's get a little spice in this stew. But should do it for now.
Cool. Peace.
Peace.